At 6 o'clock in the evening, you are standing in front of the counter at the convenience store. In one hand, you hold a crumpled $5 bill. In the other, a sweating energy drink. The cashier, eyes fixed on the screen, hands you a scratch-off lottery ticket that they slid across the counter without taking their eyes off you. You take this $5 without thinking. Nobody dwells on it. $5 means you don't have to make a decision. In the car parking lot, under the flickering neon light, you scratch that ticket with a coin you found in the cup holder. But it's empty. You had a hunch that it was nothing anyway. That ticket joins the remaining 3 tickets of the week on the floor of the passenger seat. You take a final sip from the drink can, toss it into the back, and head home. Tomorrow you will forget this place. Here. This is literally the place for $5. An amount that disappears from sight, whose effect is never felt. Now keep that $5 in your mind, because this is a story about the exact same $5 every day for 40 years. And over time, we will talk about how small choices quietly shape an entire lifetime. You are 25 years old. The next evening, you meet the same cashier at the same convenience store again. But this time, you don't think about buying a lottery ticket. You walk out with empty hands, get into the car, and open an app you set up yesterday evening. You invest $5 into a simple, low-cost index fund. The entire global market is just a single click away. On the screen, your balance appears as $5. You find this situation absurd, feeling like it's a child's bank account. Therefore, you feel foolish, like a farmer planting a single seed in a vast empty field. There is no urgency, no excitement, and you are not playing a game that promises instant riches. You are simply investing this $5, which holds a tiny fraction of the world's largest companies. You do the same thing the next day and the day after that. Everything happens automatically in the background, so you don't have the obligation to make a daily choice. In this case, your $5 goes somewhere productive before you even have the chance to waste it. An amount of $152 leaves your account every month to a place you cannot touch. You barely notice it leaving. That was always the strange part about $5. It disappears either way. Only the place where you lose it changes. You are 26 years old. 1 full year has passed. Your balance reaches approximately $1,900. Along with your own contribution of $1,825, plus the $75 added by the market. It is such a trivial amount that it is almost disappointing. One day at lunch, you mention it to a coworker, and they ask how much you earned after an entire year of doing this. When you answer, they laugh, not cruelly, just honestly. So, $75 in a year? They say, I can earn that in an afternoon. Aren't they right? They buy food from outside every day, buy a drink from the corner store every evening, and buy lottery tickets when the jackpots are high. They distribute about $5 a day into thin air, along with different small pleasures they can't quite define. You remain silent. You close your laptop. The difference between you is $75, but nobody realizes what is actually beginning. You are 28 years old. 3 years have passed. Your balance reaches around $6,100. The market has quiet days and bad days, but the automatic transfer never stops. You start to notice how invisible expenses add up in other people's lives. Subscriptions they don't use, impulse purchases on weeknights, small daily habits that leave no trace behind. You haven't changed your lifestyle. You just diverted one single leak in the boat. You have reached 30 years old. 5 years have passed. Your balance is around $11,000. About $9,000 of it is your own contribution, while the rest was formed by the compounding growth of the market. You earned the $11,000 by doing everything you didn't buy before. When you do the math, you realize it equals all the coffees, energy drinks, and internal impulses you wouldn't want to pay any cashier for until age 25. But instead of going to the landfill, it sits in an account written in your name. That same month, a friend sends a screenshot to a group chat. A photo of a speculative coin you didn't work for or hear about, which surged 400% in a single week. They invested $2,000. They try to convince you to stop being boring. During the time they gained high returns, yours couldn't even compare. You agree with their point on speed, but you think they are wrong about direction. The shape you see is like a lottery ticket under a counter. The promise that a small amount will suddenly make you rich, without building anything. You write back that you will stick to your plan, and they send a laughing emoji. 3 months later, that asset drops by 90%, and they never mention it again. As for you, you continue to do the most ordinary thing people can do with their money: sleeping early at night and slowly building your wealth. You are 35 years old. 10 years have passed. Your balance has reached approximately $27,800. You put $18,000 of your own money here over a decade. The market has added nearly $10,000 without asking anything from you. However, the market suddenly enters a dark period. A major economic crisis hits. Headlines pronounce the word crash every single morning. Your balance drops by 1/3 within a few frantic weeks. The money lost on paper is higher than what you would earn from work in several months. Your friend, who sold their gains during the last speculative wave, explains that they foresaw this coming, that they are now sitting in cash and feeling safe. You don't sell like them, but your decision is as light as a silence. You simply don't open the app. Without stopping the number from falling, you continue to send $152 monthly. As it has been for years, you continue to buy this fund cheaper when everyone else is fleeing. You don't show heroic courage. You simply step aside, and this calm stance becomes a rare superpower in the financial world. At a time when everyone waits for things to feel safe again, your quiet habit has already bought the bottom. You are 40 years old. 15 years have passed. As the market recovers and returns to its historical trend, your balance reaches approximately $52,600. Your own contributions account for about $27,000. For the first time in your life, the interest and growth in your account hold a figure larger than your actual contributions. Double-check this moment, because this is where the physics of money changes completely. Until now, you were pushing a heavy boulder up a steep hill, inch by inch. But now, the boulder begins to roll on its own momentum. It is enough just to walk alongside it. A coworker is laid off that spring. They have no financial cushion, no backup plan. Nothing between them and financial ruin except the next paycheck. But you have a figure you've never touched and never boasted about. And for the first time, you realize that $5 a day was never really about a distant retirement. It was an insurance policy against panic. You don't brag about it. You buy them lunch and listen. You are 45 years old. 20 years have passed. Your balance is approximately $89,000. Over 2 decades, you added $36,000 as direct contributions, and the market doubled it on its own. For the first time, something shifts dramatically. The figure the market offers you in a single good year starts to equal or exceed the total amount you put in by hand. Your money has effectively taken a second job, working full-time without taking days off. When you attend a school reunion that summer, someone arrives with a brand new luxury car that costs more than your annual salary. Another person talks loudly about an expensive watch. As for you, you arrive in a reliable vehicle that has been the same for 8 years, fully paid off. The person who laughed at your $75 returns 20 years ago is also standing there, still complaining about bills, still buying lottery tickets. They ask you semi-jokingly, whatever happened to your little index app? You quietly mention that it's still running. They ask how much could possibly be in there. When you give them a brief, vague range, the conversation goes quiet, and you leave it at that. You change the topic quickly. $5 never needed to make a loud noise. You are 50 years old. A full quarter century has passed. Your balance has reached approximately $144,000. In total, you contributed $45,000 over 25 years, and the account tripled it without needing your permission. You start reading news headlines differently now. You read about people your age who are facing severe retirement crises, struggling to figure out how they will afford the next decade. As for you, you have become an ordinary winner without ever earning a massive salary. You lived in the same neighborhoods, paid the same rent, stood in the same traffic. All you did was redirect a single daily micro-decision into an index fund instead of a disposable paper ticket. While your peers look at aging with uncertainty and anxiety, you look at your future like the weather. It comes and goes, but you are prepared. Now you understand that the true power of wealth is not buying things. It is the absolute quietness it brings to your mind. You are 55 years old. 30 years have passed. Your balance is approximately $226,000. In 3 decades, your total out-of-pocket contributions of $55,000 look tiny compared to the total figure. The remaining $170,000 was not money you labored for. It was simply the reward for staying out of your own way. This is the age where compounding interest performs a silent revolution. The annual growth of the account now eclipses your annual contributions by multiple times. You are no longer driving the machine. You are a passenger of your own patience. You share this figure with no one, not with your children, nor your colleagues, nor your old friends. The money grew because it was left alone in the dark. You are 60 years old. 35 years have passed. Your balance reaches approximately $345,000. You haven't changed your lifestyle. You still enjoy simple things, but the underlying stress of modern life has evaporated. You realize that wealth is not about showing off status. It is about buying ownership over your own time. Every day you wake up, Your time belongs entirely to you. You are 65 years old. 40 years have passed since the evening you put down the scratch-off ticket. Your final balance stands at approximately $531,000. Out of that $500,000, only $73,000 came from your daily $5 habit over 4 decades. The remaining $458,000 was created entirely by time, patience, and continuous economic growth. An income stream you never had to sweat for, micromanaged, or stress over. You weren't a stock-picking genius. You didn't time the market. You simply walked past a lottery ticket and a cold drink 40,000 times in a row, choosing consistency over instant gratification, and let time do the heavy lifting for you.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for all finance-related information.